This covers the basics of getting started with OutsideView, desktop, or corporate licensing. The intended audience is end users of OutsideView or their supervisors. And all we're going to cover today in this short video is the basics of creating your first NonStop session. We'll start with starting OutsideView, then configuring a connectivity session using the minimum required information. We'll talk a little bit about the concept of workspaces that let you open multiple sessions automatically. Then we'll go on and look at how to tweak OutsideView to your preferences through View, Application Look, through Application Settings, and then we'll cover a couple of helpful options, Failover and Identity Manager. Are you ready? Let's get started. After you've installed OutsideView, to start it, you merely go to Start, All Programs, Crystal Point, the OutsideView product, and then the OutsideView program. As first installed, OutsideView comes up looking like this. All you need to do is go File, New Session, or click on this icon. It comes up assuming that you'll be talking to a tandem NonStop system. That's normally a good assumption, so we'll just click OK. It wants to know the name or IP address of that NonStop system. In our environment, its name is NonStop. That's it. That's the minimum required information with which to start a session. Click OK, and the session comes up. Now this one looks a little small to me, so I'm going to maximize the OutsideView viewing area. This session comes up with the default name of Tandem, which was the emulation selected, and has an asterisk, meaning we haven't saved it yet, or it has changes that haven't been saved. To save it, we'd go File, Save Session, or Save Session As, and give it whatever name we want. I'll say Test 1, and save it. If I want to, now I can open additional copies of that same session. It's already stored, it's already configured, we'll make another connection here. If I want to create new sessions, I could do that. I can create as many open concurrent sessions as I wish to, and they don't all have to be the same. They could be a mix. However, once you have created the number of sessions that you want to have up, you can save that as a workspace. To save a workspace, all you need to do is go File, Save Workspace, or Save Workspace As initially, Workspace 1, Save. The importance of a workspace is that when you first start OutsideView, I'm closing the workspace now, so that it looks like this, you don't have to start each individual session independently. You can just go File, Open Workspace, pick a workspace name, and that workspace knows which sessions to start and how to lay them out for you. To begin modifying OutsideView to your preferences, there's a number of places you could go. You could go to View, Application Look. There, you could select color themes. For instance, right now, my theme is Office 2007 black. If I wanted to go to Office 2003, I just click on it, and the theme of OutsideView is changed. Another area here is you have your choice of the default new modern approach of tabbed windows, or you can go back to the multiple document interface or MDI view. I prefer the modern tabbed windows look, where I can move between them with just a click, but I get to see each one in full screen mode. Another place where we can manipulate how OutsideView works to your preference is to go Edit, Application Settings. Here we can see all of our storage locations associated with OutsideView. We can look at some of the basic settings, like when I start OutsideView, I could tell it to open a specific workspace, or the last one I had open when I closed it down. I could tell it not to prompt me on exit. Context recognition is knowing what you're doing at the time within your connectivity session. File transfer settings. The session bar is the area here to the left-hand side of the screen, and if I wish to, instead of having a text description, I could tell it to be live thumbnails. As an example, dynamic input assistance is by default is on. You can turn that off persistently or back on persistently, whatever you want to do there. Automatic login. It applies to identity management, which we'll talk a little bit more about in a moment. And then auto connect. Do I want the session to connect only when in focus, when you click on it, or do I want it to connect on session load? A couple of helpful options I'd like to point out specifically are failover and identity manager. Failover is the concept of being able to list multiple host and port combinations, and if the first one doesn't work, the OutsideView session will try the second. To put that into play, I can just go Session Settings, and where it has the I/O category, where it says NonStop, I'm going to deliberately give it some false information or invalid information. So we'll say go to the NonStop system on port 99, and if that fails, go to the NonStop system. By not putting in a port, it's now assuming port 23. So I'll hit OK. It tries 99, it fails over here to port 23. Another helpful option is identity management, an ability to tag your session file so that session files that have the similar credentials have the same tag on them. So I will say that this is a NonStop user type session or set of credentials, and in my case I want to associate it with training. Because Identity Manager helps you log in automatically, I have to give it a service to log into, so in my case I'll just say it's a tackle system. Now when I say OK, the Identity Manager prompts me for my credentials. These are stored only in memory, not on disk, and they are stored in an encrypted fashion. So once the session comes up, Identity Manager takes care of logging me in automatically. I'm going to save my session, save my entire workspace. Oh, and as a matter of fact, let's do another thing. Let's say that the session bar will be showed as live thumbnails. So now, at the beginning of the day, I would simply open my selected workspace. Each of the 3 sessions is opened automatically and logged in automatically as well. What the Identity Manager does is let you not have to make redundant logins throughout the day. I hope you've had a chance to see that starting OutsideView and configuring a basic session is very, very easy, and that also there are many, many opportunities to make OutsideView perform exactly as you like. Thank you.